Black child asked to switch seats on flight. Crew freezes at her last name. The moment 7-year-old Zora Williams stepped onto American Airlines Flight 2187, traveling from Atlanta to New York, all eyes subtly shifted toward her. Dressed in a bright sunshine yellow dress, she walked with a confidence that seemed beyond her years. In one small hand, she held tightly onto her beloved stuffed elephant, Ellie, while the other clung to her mother's fingers. What she didn't realize was that, within the next 3 hours, her last name would stir up shockwaves across the plane, unveiling long-buried secrets and altering several lives in the process. Maya Williams guided her daughter down the narrow aisle, keenly aware of the glances cast their way. After spending 15 years as a Black woman in corporate America, she had developed an instinct for distinguishing between harmless curiosity and something more unsettling. Today, she sensed both. The yellow dress had been Zora's choice, a birthday present from her grandmother that made her feel like she was radiating sunshine. Maya had always encouraged her daughter to embrace joy whenever she found it, even as she quietly prepared her for a world that wouldn't always appreciate her brightness. Row 14, seats A and B, Maya murmured as she double-checked their boarding passes.
Yay.
The middle seat, just like I wanted, Zora chirped, bouncing on her toes, her beaded braids softly clicking. Mommy, can I have the window seat, please? I want to see the clouds make shapes. Maya smiled. Of course, sunshine. She helped Zora into the seat and stowed their carry-on in the overhead bin before settling in. As passengers continued boarding, Maya pulled out her tablet, skimming last-minute work emails. Meanwhile, Zora arranged Ellie carefully in her lap, whispering secrets to the well-loved toy. This flight to New York was significant for both of them. For Maya, it marked her first major client presentation since earning her promotion to senior marketing director at Horizon Media. But for Zora, it meant something just as big, finally meeting her great-grandfather, Jeremiah Williams, now 93 and growing frail. Just as Maya was focused on her work, a voice interrupted her thoughts. Excuse me. She looked up to see a flight attendant standing beside them. Artificially blonde hair, a tight, practiced smile. Her name tag read Heather. I'm sorry, but we need to make a seating adjustment. A familiar tightness settled in Maya's chest. Is there an issue with our seats? Not exactly, Heather replied, lowering her voice. We have a family that needs to sit together, and we're hoping you and your daughter might be willing to move to row 27. Maya's eyes flicked toward the back. Row 27 was near the restrooms, right in front of a young couple struggling with twin toddlers who were already kicking the seats. Worse, it would separate her from Zora. I specifically booked these seats so my daughter and I could sit together, Maya said, her voice steady. The other family is also hoping to stay together, Heather explained, her smile still in place, though her eyes hardened slightly. It's 2 parents and their son. They're seated in first class, but due to medical reasons, they need to be closer to the lavatories. Maya followed Heather's gaze to a white family standing nearby, a tall, distinguished-looking man in his 40s, a stylishly dressed blonde woman, and a young boy about Zora's age, wearing a private school uniform and looking utterly bored. If they're already in first class, why not move them to first-class seats near the front lavatory? Maya asked logically. Heather's smile barely faltered. Those seats are occupied by our premium customers. The implication hung in the air. Maya and Zora were, somehow, less valued passengers. Beside her, Maya felt Zora stiffen. Her daughter's small fingers curled tighter around Ellie's worn trunk. Even at 7, Zora recognized these moments for what they were. I'm sorry, Maya said firmly, but we paid for these seats, and my daughter and I need to sit together. I also have work to prepare for before we land. The distinguished man stepped forward, his tone polished, authoritative, the voice of someone accustomed to getting his way. Perhaps I can help, he offered. I'm Dr. Richard Whitley. My son has a medical condition that requires quick access to the restroom. We'd appreciate it as a personal favor. Maya met his gaze levelly. I sympathize, Dr. Whitley, but surely there are other passengers who could be asked to move. Perhaps someone traveling alone. Heather quickly cut in. We've already asked several others. Though Maya had seen no such efforts. Just then, Zora tugged gently at her mother's sleeve. "Mommy," she whispered, her voice just loud enough for those nearby to hear, "is this like what happened at the restaurant? When they tried to put us by the kitchen, even though we had a reservation?" A flicker of unease crossed Dr. Whitley's face. His wife placed a manicured hand on his arm. "Richard, let's not make a scene. We'll find another solution." Before any more could be said, another flight attendant arrived, an older woman with steel-gray hair pulled into a tight bun. Her name tag read Patricia. Her no-nonsense demeanor suggested she had been enforcing airline policies since deregulation. "Is there a problem here?" Patricia asked, her tone making it clear that, whatever the issue was, it would be resolved her way. "These passengers are declining to switch seats for a family with medical needs," Heather explained, her version of the situation already neatly packaged. Patricia's sharp gaze landed on Maya and Zora, lingering on the child's bright yellow dress before returning to Maya. "Ma'am, we need you to cooperate with crew instructions. It's a safety issue." "With all due respect," Maya replied, slipping effortlessly into her marketing executive voice, "being asked to move seats as a courtesy is not a safety instruction. My daughter and I are staying in the seats we paid for." Patricia's eyes narrowed slightly. "What's your name, ma'am?" "Maya Williams." "And the child?" Maya felt Zora press closer to her side. "My daughter is Zora Williams." At that, something flickered across Patricia's face, brief confusion, followed by a closer examination of both mother and daughter. "Any relation to Jeremiah Williams?" The question caught Maya off guard. "He's my grandfather. Zora's great-grandfather." "Why?" The shift in Patricia's demeanor was immediate and stunning. Her stern authority melted into something like shock, then something else, something almost reverent. "Jeremiah Williams of the Tuskegee Airman?" she asked, her voice suddenly softer. "The 332nd Fighter Group?" Maya nodded, still uncertain where this was going. "Yes, that's him. We're flying to New York to visit him." Patricia turned sharply to Heather, then to the Whitleys, who looked increasingly impatient. "These passengers will be keeping their assigned seats," she declared firmly. "Dr. Whitley, please follow me. We'll find another arrangement." "Now, wait just a minute," Dr. Whitley began, but Patricia silenced him with a single look. "Sir, Jeremiah Williams saved my father's life over Dresden in 1945. When I say these passengers are keeping their seats, they are keeping their seats." As Patricia led the Whitleys away, Heather lingered, her expression unreadable. "I apologize for the confusion, Miss Williams," she said, though the words felt robotic. "Can I get you or your daughter anything before takeoff?" Zora looked up at her mother, wide-eyed. "Mommy, why did she change her mind when she heard great-grandpa's name?" Maya gently smoothed her daughter's braids. "Well, sunshine, sometimes our names carry stories bigger than we realize."